Hi everybody, it's Paul Kelly Golf. I want to talk to you today about a recent iron fitting I did and how we got the results we did and get rid of some misconceptions about how those results happened. So stay tuned. And if you want to receive great content and be notified, please hit the subscribe button, the like button. I am a certified master teaching professional with 35 years experience, an award-winning top 100 North American fitter, and an award-winning top 50 Canadian golf teaching professional. So a client came into me the other day and he had an older set of Callaway X20 Tour irons. Now these came out in 2006 and he was wondering if there was something out there that would perform better for him. He was a big guy. He didn't feel like the irons were fit properly for him. He didn't think that the shafts were right, thought that the heads were outdated, and all these things were correct. So when I looked at it, I knew that we could do something for him. And we fit him into a set of Callaway AI smoke irons that absolutely blew the X20 Tours away completely. Now, what I want to state in advance here is that there's a significant difference in the design of those clubs. The X20 Tours came out in 2006. The 7-iron has 34 degrees aloft, and the Callaway AI Smoke 7-iron has 28 degrees aloft. So there's a 6-degree loft difference. And already I know that people are saying, well, that's where the performance came from. They are not really a 7-iron. They're a 5-iron marked down. Well, it's not true at all, and I want to delve into that and explain it so that when you start to hear misconceptions, you can kind of make better judgments on them. And these misconceptions are caused by people who don't follow the data all the way through. They're tunnel vision on looking at the loft, and that's it. So let's dig into this and see what happened. So let's show the difference of what came out at the end. His current X20 Tour 7-iron versus the new fitted Callaway AI Smoke 7-iron that was fit for him with shaft and grip and length and lie angle. Now look at these dispersions. Look at the difference in the cluster and how tight it is and how much longer it is. We're talking 30 yards here with a better pattern, a better dispersion, things more consistent, less distance from front to back and less distance from side to side. I know there's a big loft difference, and that's where the distance came from. Well, let's keep going and look into the rest of the data and find out what's related to what. All right, let's start with looking at the launch angle for these. We've gone from 18 to 15 degrees, so we've lost a little bit of launch, and you're going to see, I told you, that's where it's coming from. It's coming from the lower launch. It's going farther. Let's keep going and look at some other data because this doesn't tell the story at all. The main benefit of lower lofts is that they produce a flatter face at contact versus a more angled face. And a flatter face will produce more ball speed and more velocity because it's compressing the ball more than an angled face. This is just basic science. So when we came down 6 degrees, we're going to produce more ball speed. Now, throughout a normal set, there's usually about a 4 to 5 degree gap in lofts. We've come down 6, so we're a little bit more than one club. But we produced 19 miles an hour of ball speed. 19 additional miles of ball speed. Now, when you're fitting for irons, they like to see 5 miles an hour ball speed from club to club to club. But we saw a 19 mile an hour increase here. So that's almost 4 clubs worth of ball speed for only just a little bit more than 1 club of loft. So the loft can't be responsible for all of the ball speed because we've only come down a club, possibly a club and a half, but we've picked up 4 clubs worth of ball speed. Everybody's following? 6 degrees of loft, which is a little bit more than 1 club of loft, and 19 miles an hour of ball speed, which is almost 4 clubs worth of ball speed going on 5 miles an hour. So let's continue to look on what happens. Look at our carry distance. We went from 160 to 192. We increased the carry distance by 32 yards. So at 10 yards per club for most people, easy way of looking at things, we increased it 3 clubs. Now, we don't get 3 clubs from going a club and a half of loft change unless there's some other factors in play. But we got 32 yards of additional carry. But that's not enough because people will say, yeah, but you know what? You're just tricking. It's a 5-iron. I know you're not going to be able to stop it. It's coming in hot. Yeah, it's just juiced up. Let's keep going. There's more data to look at. And this is where people stop. They stop right here and they don't continue to look at the other data. So let's take a look. So we looked at the launch. We're launching 3 degrees less with the new iron versus the older iron. We are producing 20 miles an hour, almost more ball speed with the new iron. Now, with ball speed comes your ability to produce height. To produce height, you need ball speed. If you're going to launch something upward, you need velocity for that to counteract gravity and to keep climbing. So the more velocity you have, the higher you can get. So while we launched a little bit lower, we added 25 feet of additional height. We went from 81 feet of peak height to 106 feet of peak height. So while it left the club and launched a little bit lower, the velocity allowed it to continue to climb past the duration of the other club. So while the loft and the launch look like they're lower, the overall peak height is significantly higher. And with that peak height, what else do we get? Well, we also get a steeper landing angle, and that's your stopping power. So we increased the landing angle from 42 degrees, which is on the low side, to 48 degrees, which sits right in the middle of that optimum peak landing angle of 45 to 50 degrees that all the manufacturers and fitters look for. So we launched it a little bit lower. We had tremendous amount of ball speed. It climbed higher. It dropped steeper. And that gives us what we wanted at the very end of it. Let's take a look at the final outcome. We had a 160 carry with a 174 stop. So 174 on the ground, 160 carry. That's a 14-yard rollout. Now, let's look at the newer iron. We launched lower, came in higher, dropped steeper, produced 32 yards of additional carry distance, and stopped at 201. So we carried 192, stopped at 201 for a 9-yard stop. We stopped in 9 yards versus 14 yards, but we were 32 yards longer. Imagine 3 clubs longer and stopped quicker. So let's wrap all this up and look at it. Stronger loft, 6 degrees, which is about a club, club and a half more. So it's not just a 5-iron jack down, because if it was, we wouldn't hit the ball higher, have it land steeper, and stop quicker. 32 yards longer and stopped quicker and was more accurate and more consistent. How can this be a bad thing? And how can this be just a mislabeled club like a lot of people think, because they don't follow the data all the way through? They stop when someone tells them, oh, it's just a 5-iron. It's labeled wrong. It's all trickery. It's not trickery. So let me look at one other scenario here for you so you can really appreciate the difference that this makes. Let's say that I wanted to take that X20 Tour iron and I wanted to go into my bag and pull the iron that will replicate the distance of that 192-yard carry of the AI Smoke. Well, a 7-iron wasn't doing it. It was 30 yards shorter. The 6-iron's not going to do it. The 5-iron's not going to do it. I'm going to be down all the way to a 4-iron to pick up 30 yards. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a low handicap golfer, and the chances of me hitting flush 4-irons one after another off the fairway and producing a consistent contact and a consistent distance are very, very slim. And the chance of me producing that with towering height and coming in and stopping are almost impossible. So you can't just say the lofts are juiced, and you can't just look at part of the data without looking at all of it, because this is such a great technological breakthrough for most people. For people that need help with ball speed and height and accuracy, these things are absolutely amazing. I've got these type of irons in my bag, and I absolutely love the performance. My ball towers in high, it stops, and it's long. So this is where we ended up. This client ended up with 32 yards of additional distance that was tighter, more consistent, more accurate, and stopped quicker. Someone wants to explain to me how that's a bad thing because it's lower lofted. I'm all ears, and I'd love to hear from you. Folks, thanks for watching. I'm Paul Kelly.